Kai's boots sank slightly into the soft red sand of Zorith as he stepped off the small landing shuttle. The sky above glowed with swirling green and purple clouds, casting strange shadows across the rocky landscape. He had trained for years to explore distant planets, but nothing had prepared him for this world. Towering cliffs rose around him, carved with jagged patterns that seemed almost alive. The air smelled faintly metallic, and every sound echoed off the rocks like the planet itself was listening. Kai adjusted the strap of his pack and took a cautious step forward. His mission was simple on paper: observe, record, and make contact with the alien species rumored to inhabit this region. But the further he walked, the more he felt the weight of Zorith's size. The rocks were massive. The trees, if they could even be called trees, were 10 times taller than anything on Earth, and the shadows they cast made him feel small. Almost invisible, a sudden heavy sound made Kai freeze. The ground vibrated with each step, and he could hear a low rumble approaching from the canyon ahead. He ducked behind a boulder and peered cautiously. There she was. General Thera emerged from the shadows. A towering figure over 12 feet tall. Her armor shimmered with a strange iridescent glow, and her eyes, bright and sharp, scanned the canyon floor. Her movements were deliberate, confident, and powerful. When she spotted Kai hiding, she tilted her head and laughed. The sound rolled through the canyon, loud enough to make Kai flinch. "You are very small," she said in a voice that resonated like a drumbeat. "Do you expect to survive here?" Kai swallowed hard, but forced himself to step out from behind the rock. He raised his hand slightly in a peaceful gesture. "I come in peace." "My name is Kai. I'm an explorer from Earth." Thara's laugh echoed again. "Earth. Tiny humans from a small blue planet. And yet, here you are, standing before me." Her long fingers rested on the hilt of a weapon that was larger than Kai himself. "Do you think you are brave, little one, or foolish?" Kai squared his shoulders. Fear pressed against his chest, but he refused to show it. "I am not foolish," he said. "I may be small, but I have learned to survive. I want to learn about your people, just as I hope you might learn about mine." For a moment, the giant general studied him silently. Her glowing eyes narrowed, and she stepped closer, each footfall making the ground tremble. Kai could feel the vibrations through his boots. She stopped a few feet away, towering over him completely. He looked up at her, trying not to appear intimidated. "You have courage?" she finally said, her voice softer but still commanding. "Most humans would run and hide. Many aliens would crush you without a second thought. But you do not run." Kai nodded. "I believe courage is not about size. It is about standing for what is right, even when the odds are against you." Thera's lips curved slightly, almost into a smile. "Interesting. Perhaps there is more to humans than I expected." She turned and gestured with one massive hand. "Come with me. If you are to prove your worth, you will need to enter my tent." Kai hesitated for a fraction of a second. Entering the general's tent could be dangerous, but he saw an opportunity. Respect, understanding, and alliance could begin here. He followed her carefully, watching every step. The path to her tent wound through a cluster of giant boulders. Kai had to jump over glowing streams of water that ran like molten metal in a void, strange plants that reached out as if they could sense movement. Thera moved with ease, her long limbs navigating effortlessly. Kai admired her strength, but reminded himself that his advantage was not in size, but in observation and intelligence. Finally, they reached a clearing. The tent was enormous, made from a material that shimmered like liquid silver. It towered above Kai's head, and as Thera pushed the entrance flap aside, warm light spilled out. Inside, the tent was filled with alien artifacts, weapons larger than Kai's shuttle, strange devices that hummed with energy, and glowing symbols painted on the walls. Thera gestured for him to enter. "Do not touch anything without permission," she warned. "Many of these devices are dangerous to untrained hands." Kai stepped inside cautiously, his eyes wide with wonder. He noticed the precision and care in how everything was arranged. Thera clearly valued order, strategy, and strength. He felt a spark of respect for her, even though she had mocked his size. "You humans believe size matters," Thera said, her voice echoing slightly inside the tent. "But I have seen many who rely on their size and fail. Perhaps you can teach me something about courage and intelligence." Kai nodded. "That is all I hope to do. I want to learn and I want to share what I know. Strength is not just about power. It is about heart, mind, and spirit." The general circled him slowly, her eyes sharp and calculating. "You speak boldly, little one. Words are easy. Actions, they are what count. I will test you, not with weapons, but with understanding. You may be small, but cleverness can be a weapon as powerful as any sword." Kai felt a mixture of relief and apprehension. A test without immediate danger was still a test, and he knew he had to impress her not with muscle, but with his mind and courage. "Follow me," Thera said finally. She led him to a platform in the center of the tent. It glowed with symbols that shifted as Kai approached. "This is a puzzle I created for those I deem worth noticing. Many warriors fail. Few succeed. If you can solve this, I will know you are more than your size suggests." Kai looked at the puzzle carefully. It was intricate, a combination of shapes, lights, and moving parts. His first instinct was to step back, but he remembered Thera's words. Strength was not the solution, here wisdom was. He took a deep breath, focused, and began analyzing. Hours passed. Kai examined patterns, tried different combinations, and noticed details that Thera's own warriors often missed. The general watched silently, her glowing eyes never leaving him. Kai's small hands moved carefully, adjusting pieces with precision. He used logic, observation, and patience. Slowly, the puzzle began to respond, lights flickering as pieces fell into place. Finally, with one careful motion, the last piece clicked. The puzzle activated, casting a soft, radiant glow throughout the tent. Thara's eyes widened in surprise and admiration. "Well done," she said, her voice filled with genuine respect. "Few have ever completed this challenge. You humans are remarkable." Kai smiled, a mix of relief and pride washing over him. "Thank you, General. I did my best." Thera nodded. "You have courage, intelligence, and patience. These are traits I value more than size or strength. Perhaps, little one, you are exactly the type of being I have been searching for." Kai realized in that moment that being small was not a weakness. It was an opportunity to show that humans had qualities no giant warrior could easily match. He felt a spark of hope that this encounter could lead to understanding, friendship, and something far greater than simple survival. Thera's expression softened. "Rest now. We have much to discuss tomorrow. For now, you have earned my respect." Kai lay on a simple mat inside the tent, looking up at the enormous structure above him. He thought about the alien general, the puzzle, and the strange beauty of Zorath. For the first time, he felt that being small did not mean being powerless. It meant having a chance to shine in ways no one expected, and Kai knew this was only the beginning. Kai woke to the soft hum of Zoroth's morning light filtering through the shimmering walls of the general's tent. The glow made the room appear almost alive, as if the tent itself were breathing. His muscles ached slightly from the long hours. I was standing and working on the puzzle yesterday, but he felt a sense of pride and purpose he had never experienced on any human mission. He sat up on the mat and looked around. Thera was already moving gracefully among the artifacts, her massive hands carefully adjusting items on shelves and tables. Every movement was precise, purposeful, and confident. Despite her intimidating size, there was a rhythm to her actions, a kind of calm authority that Kai found fascinating. "Good morning," Kai said cautiously, standing up. He was careful to keep his voice respectful yet steady. "I hope I did not disturb you with my sleeping position." Thera turned slowly, her glowing eyes fixing on him. "You are human. Your rest is brief and often shallow. But you have shown determination. I will allow it this time." Her voice carried a note of amusement. "Sit. We will speak." Kai followed her to a low table, specially crafted for human use. "Oh!" He noticed delicate alien markings carved along its edges. Thera sat opposite him, towering even while seated. Her presence filled the tent. Yet there was no threat in her posture, only curiosity. "I watched you yesterday," Thera said. "You approached the puzzle with patience. Most beings try to force solutions. You observe, you analyze, you understand." Kai nodded. "On Earth, we learn that thinking carefully often solves problems better than rushing into action. Sometimes small hands can do what large ones cannot. Sometimes careful thought matters more than strength." Thera's eyes glimmered. "Perhaps humans have a quality my warriors lack. Strength and size are useful, but intelligence and creativity, they are rare even among my people." She leaned forward slightly. "Tell me, Kai, why do humans explore? Why do you travel across stars, risking life on strange worlds?" Kai considered the question. He could have answered with facts about human exploration missions, about science or survival. Instead, he spoke from the heart. Humans explore because we are curious. We want to understand, to learn, and to connect. We are small in the universe, but we dream big. Every new place is a chance to discover something, to grow, and to find friendship where we can. Thera remained silent for a moment, absorbing his words. Then slowly she nodded. "Curiosity. That explains why you survived the puzzle. Most beings would have panicked. Most would have been defeated by frustration or fear. You, however, observed and adapted. That is rare." Kai smiled slightly. "I suppose fear is natural, but it can be managed. Courage does not mean absence of fear. It means moving forward even when fear is present." Thera's expression softened. "Interesting. Many warriors forget that. They rely on force. Force is easy. Understanding is not." She stood, her long legs moving with elegance, and gestured toward a device in the center of the tent. It was a strange console with glowing symbols, some that shifted and changed as Kai approached. "This is another test, though less physical than the puzzle," Thera explained. "It will measure your reasoning, creativity, and observation. You do not need to touch anything yet." "Watch first," Kai observed as Thera demonstrated. She pressed. Symbols in sequence, and the console responded, projecting lights and sounds that formed patterns across the tent walls. The patterns were complex, almost musical, shifting like the planet's clouds outside. Kai noticed subtle rhythms and repetitions, small cues that guided the process. "You humans notice details others overlook," Thera said, observing his reactions. "Perhaps your small size allows you to focus in ways my larger warriors cannot. You may see what giants miss." Kai leaned closer, studying the sequences. "I have learned that observing carefully often reveals solutions hidden in plain sight. Sometimes the answer is in the pattern, not the power behind it." Thera nodded approvingly. "Yes. Now, try it. But remember, this is not about force. It is about understanding. Do not rush." Kai took a deep breath and extended his hands toward the console. He traced the patterns slowly, carefully matching the rhythm he had observed. He noticed when the lights shifted slightly, signaling a hidden sequence. Step by step, he moved, correcting mistakes and adjusting his approach. Hours passed, but Kai remained patient. Thera never intervened, only observing, her glowing eyes tracking every subtle movement. Occasionally, she would nod slightly, approving his choices or drawing attention to a pattern he had overlooked. Finally, a series of lights aligned perfectly, forming a radiant symbol that filled the tent with a soft, calming glow. The sound it produced was harmonious, almost like a song of understanding rather than a signal of alarm. Kai stepped back, exhausted but exhilarated. Thera's eyes shone brightly. "You have done it," she said. "You humans are indeed remarkable. Strength and size are limited. Intelligence, patience, and creativity, these are boundless." Kai smiled, feeling both relief and pride. "Thank you, General. I am honored." Thera stepped closer, her massive hand resting gently on the console. "You have taught me something already, the value of patience, observation, and courage. I will remember this." Kai noticed a collection of artifacts on a nearby shelf, strange devices that hummed with energy, small models of ships, and tools he could not identify. "What are these?" he asked. "These are instruments of understanding," Thera said. "Some measure energy, others record knowledge. Many of my warriors cannot appreciate them. You, however, may see their purpose. Humans are curious. That is a strength I respect." Kai reached out carefully, examining one small device. It emitted a soft glow, responsive to touch. "It feels. It's intelligent," he said, "almost as if it adapts to the user." Thera smiled. "Precisely. You understand quickly. Most beings see only a tool. You see potential." For the next few hours, they explored the artifacts together. Kai asked questions, and Thara answered, sometimes demonstrating, sometimes letting him discover the functions for himself. He learned that Zerothians valued not only strength, but knowledge, and that their technology was designed to reward insight rather than brute force. As the day passed, Kai realized he was no longer intimidated by Thera's size. Her laughter, once frightening, now seemed like encouragement. Her presence, once overwhelming, now felt like guidance. He understood that the general's initial mockery had not been meant to belittle him, but to measure his spirit. When evening approached, Thera gestured for Kai to rest. "You have done well," she said. "Tomorrow, we will begin the final part of your test. For now, reflect on what you have learned here. Your mind is as important as your body, and perhaps even more so." Kai lay on the mat, looking at the shimmering tent walls. He thought about the puzzle, the console, the conversations with Thera. For the first time on this alien world, he felt that being small was not a weakness. His size allowed him to see, think, and act in ways that giants could not. And Kai knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, but he was ready. He had earned the respect of the largest warrior he had ever met, and he had discovered the power of courage, intelligence, and understanding. As Zorith's strange stars began to shine outside the tent, Kai felt hope. This planet, once alien and intimidating, now seemed full of opportunity. And beside him, in the glow of the tent, stood a general who could one day become an ally, teacher, and perhaps even a friend. Kai closed his eyes, ready to face whatever came next. He had learned that size was not what mattered, it was the heart, it's the mind and the will to rise to the challenge that defined a being. The morning light on Zorith glowed brighter than Kai had ever seen. The shimmering walls of General Thera's tent reflected the colors of the sky, painting the interior in shifting shades of green, purple, and gold. Kai had barely slept. Mind raced with thoughts from the previous day. He had passed the initial tests, solved the puzzle, and demonstrated his intelligence and patience. Yet he sensed that Thera had more in store as he stepped outside the tent. Saw Thera waiting, her tall frame casting a long shadow across the red sand. She moved with purpose, her armor reflecting the sunlight. "Kai," she said, her voice strong yet calm. "Today you will face a challenge unlike any you have encountered. This will test not your hands, but your mind, strategy, and courage." Kai nodded, standing taller despite the obvious difference in size. "I am ready, General," he said. Thera led him to a large clearing surrounded by jagged rocks and towering crystal formations. In the center lay an intricate device, unlike anything Kai had ever seen. It was massive, almost the size of his shuttle, and covered in glowing symbols that moved as if alive. Mechanical arms and panels shifted slowly, creating a complex maze of lights, levers, and energy flows. "This is the trial of insight," Thera explained. "Many warriors fail because they rely on strength. You, however, must rely on intelligence, observation, and patience. If you can navigate this trial, you will prove that humans are more than their size suggests." Kai approached the device, carefully noticing the delicate balance of energy and movement. Each lever controlled multiple panels at once, and each glowing symbol interacted with others in ways that were not immediately obvious. One wrong move could reset the entire sequence. He took a deep breath, reminding himself that force would not help him here. He needed focus, observation, and steady hands. Thera stepped back, folding her massive arms. "You may begin. I will watch, but I will not interfere." Kai studied the patterns. he noticed that the glowing symbols formed repeating sequences, but with subtle differences. Some symbols pulsed faster, some shifted position slightly, and some dimmed if moved incorrectly. He realized the device responded to careful attention, not quick action. Slowly, Kai started adjusting the levers, moving one panel at a time. He observed how each change affected the surrounding symbols, mapping the interactions in his mind. The device seemed almost alive, testing his ability to anticipate and plan. Hours passed, yet Kai remained patient. Sweat dripped from his brow, but he refused to rush. At one point, a glowing arm swung dangerously close to him. Kai ducked instinctively, realizing that the trial was not only mental, but required agility. His small size became an advantage here. He could move quickly and carefully between the shifting mechanisms, avoiding hazards that a larger being might struggle with. Thera watched silently, occasionally tilting her head in curiosity. "The little one moves with purpose," she murmured. Most warriors would panic, yet he adapts, observes, and proceeds with care. Fascinating. Kai noticed that some symbols were connected in hidden ways. When he aligned one set, another set shifted automatically. Slowly, he began to understand the logic behind the device. It was like solving a puzzle within a puzzle, each layer revealing another. Time passed, and the sun climbed higher in the alien sky. Kai's arms ached, his legs tired from constant movement, but his mind stayed sharp. He realized that this trial was not about speed, it was about comprehension and persistence. Every decision required careful thought. Finally, Kai reached a stage where the final sequence needed to be aligned. One mistake would undo hours of work. He paused, taking a deep breath, and observed the symbols carefully. He traced their connections in his mind, predicting the chain reaction before moving. With precise, deliberate movements, he adjusted the final levers. The device hummed, lights shifting in harmony, and a low tone filled the clearing. A panel opened, revealing a glowing sphere at the center. It radiated warmth and energy, and Kai felt a sense of accomplishment unlike any he had ever known. He stepped back, exhausted but triumphant. Thera approached, her massive footsteps making the ground tremble. She looked at Kai with eyes wide in admiration. "Impressive," she said simply. "You have done what few of my warriors could. You see patterns where others see chaos. You move with thought, not brute force. You are remarkable, human." Kai smiled, catching his breath. "Thank you, General. I try to focus on understanding rather than speed or strength." Thera nodded. "That is why you succeeded. Many beings rely on size, speed, or power. You've relied on observation, patience, and intelligence. These are qualities I value above all else. You're small, yet you possess something far greater than mere strength." Kai felt a deep sense of pride. He realized that his small stature, which had once seemed like a disadvantage, was now a symbol of human potential. "I had succeeded where others might have failed, not because of power, but because of mind, heart, and courage." Thera studied him for a long moment. "I have one final question," she said. "Why do you humans continue to explore, to risk yourselves, when the universe is so vast and dangerous?" Kai thought for a moment. "Because exploration is how we grow. We learn, we understand, and we connect. Danger exists, but it teaches us resilience. Size is not the measure of our potential, it is our curiosity, courage, and ability to adapt that defines us. We explore not for glory, but to discover what we are capable of." Thera's eyes glimmered. "Your words are wise. You have shown that humans are not to be underestimated. Your courage, intelligence, and patience are extraordinary. Perhaps your species will teach my warriors something they cannot learn on their own." Kai felt a warmth in his chest. The general's respect was genuine, earned through effort and perseverance. For the first time, he felt that humans could be seen not as weak or insignificant, but as beings with unique abilities that could rival the largest and strongest of other worlds. Thera extended one massive hand toward him. "You have proven yourself today, Kai. You are more than I expected. Tomorrow we will continue your training, and I will introduce you to others who may learn from you. But today rest. You've earned it." Kai nodded, his body tired but his spirit renewed. "Thank you, General. I will be ready for whatever comes next." As he lay on the mat that night, Kai reflected on the day's events. The trial had been exhausting, both mentally and physically. Yet he had succeeded because he trusted his mind, his observation, and his courage. He realized that being small in a world of giants was not a limitation. It was an opportunity to demonstrate qualities that size alone could never achieve. Outside the tent, Zoroth's twin moons began to rise, casting silver light across the red sand. Kai felt a sense of connection to this alien world and to General Thara, who had challenged him not to destroy him but to reveal his potential. Kai understood that his journey on Zoroth had only just begun. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new lessons, and perhaps a deeper understanding of what humans could offer to this vast and mysterious universe. He closed his eyes, ready to rest, filled with hope and determination. He had faced the trial of insight, and he had emerged stronger, not in body, but in mind and spirit. Kai realized that the universe was vast, full of challenges and wonders, and that humans had a unique place within it. It was not strength that defined a species, it was courage, intelligence, curiosity, and the will to rise to any challenge. And with that thought, Kai drifted into sleep, prepared for whatever Zoroth would demand of him next. Kai woke to the soft light of Zoroth's morning, filtering through the shimmering walls of General Thara's tent. The events of the past days weighed on him, but he felt stronger, wiser, and more confident. The trials had pushed him beyond what he thought were his limits. He understood something profound. Strength alone did not define a being, but courage, intelligence, and adaptability did. Thara was already awake, examining a series of glowing artifacts on a table. The hum of energy from the devices filled the tent, creating a rhythm that seemed alive. Her massive presence was calming yet commanding. When she noticed Kai observing her, she gestured for him to come closer. "Today," she said, "you will see more of what my people value, perhaps what they can learn from you. The trials you have completed show your mind is capable, but knowledge is not enough. Wisdom is tested in action, understanding, and cooperation." Kai nodded, following her carefully. His small frame moved quickly through the towering tent, his eyes drawn to the strange devices around him. Each artifact had a purpose, some clearly practical, others symbolic. He wondered how the Zorothians balanced such power with discipline. Thara led him to a larger chamber, circular and open, with platforms rising and falling like the surface of a calm ocean. Several Zorothian warriors were gathered there, tall and imposing, their armor reflecting the ambient light. When Kai entered, their glowing eyes turned to him. A murmur passed through the group, curiosity evident in every glance. "These are my warriors," Thara said. "They are strong, skilled, and brave. You have impressed me, little human, but can you impress them? Today, you will demonstrate not only your intelligence, but your ability to communicate, to teach, and to inspire." Kai felt a flutter of nervousness, but he straightened his back. He had faced challenges alone before, yet this was different. Here, he had to prove that humans could offer more than individual skill. They could contribute as partners, thinkers, and leaders. Thara assigned him a task. "You will help my warriors solve a coordination exercise. It requires observation, strategy, and communication. Do not underestimate them. They are skilled and disciplined. Remember, your strength is in your mind and your heart, not in your hands." Kai observed the warriors closely. He noticed their patterns, the ways they moved together, and how each individual responded to commands. Unlike humans, their size allowed them to perform tasks quickly. But he realized that their teamwork was rigid, lacking flexibility. He decided to approach the task with patience and clarity. He explained the plan simply and clearly. "Serve the patterns first. Each of you has a role. Listen carefully to the others. If one part of the sequence changes, the group must adapt together. Flexibility is as important as strength." The warriors looked at him skeptically. Some tilted their heads, still questioning the tiny human before them. Thara watched silently, her glowing eyes focused on Kai, waiting to see how he would handle their doubt. Kai demonstrated a small portion of the sequence first, moving with precision and explaining every step. He encouraged the warriors to notice the cause and effect relationships in the exercise. Slowly, they began to follow, matching their movements to his instructions. Hours passed as they worked together. Kai's small size allowed him to move quickly between platforms, adjusting details that the towering warriors could not reach easily. He offered advice, guidance, and encouragement. The Zorathians began to respond to his instructions, their initial skepticism replaced by focus and respect. Thera observed quietly. "You are teaching them more than skill," she said softly. "You are teaching them understanding, patience, and adaptation. They may be large, but your mind guides them. Remarkable." By afternoon, the exercise was completed successfully. The warriors aligned perfectly, performing the task with coordination and efficiency. They looked at Kai with newfound respect, recognizing his value as more than just a small being. They saw his mind, courage, and leadership. One of the warriors stepped forward, a towering figure with glowing blue eyes. "Human," he said, his voice deep but respectful. "You have guided us in a way few could. Your instructions were clear and your insight sharp. We see now that size does not measure worth. You have our respect." Kai nodded, smiling. "Thank you. You have shown me that even the largest and strongest can grow when they are open to learning." Thera stepped forward, her massive hand resting lightly on Kai's shoulder. "You have proven that humans are more than your size suggests. You inspire understanding, cooperation, and respect. You have earned not only my admiration, but the admiration of my warriors. Few beings achieve such a feat in a single day." Kai felt a warmth in his chest. For the first time, he realized that humans could truly stand alongside beings far larger and stronger than themselves, not through force, but through courage, intelligence, and heart. "Now," Thera said, "I will show you something that has never been shared with an outsider before." She led Kai to a large chamber at the rear of the tent. The walls were lined with holographic maps, glowing constellations, and detailed simulations of planets and systems. The display shifted and moved, showing data in ways that Kai had only dreamed of seeing. "This is how we plan," Thera explained. "These maps show not only our territories but the movements of other species, the resources available, and the strategies we use to protect our world. Few outsiders are allowed to see this. Yet you, Kai, have proven yourself." Kai approached the maps, fascinated. "This is incredible," he said. "The level of detail, the precision, is unlike anything I have seen. Humans could learn so much from this." Thera smiled. "And humans have already taught us much. Your courage, insight, and adaptability are qualities my people admire. Have shown that even a small being can have a large impact." "Oh." Kai spent hours studying the maps with Thera, asking questions and learning the intricacies of Zorathian strategy. He realized that his understanding of human teamwork, creativity, and resilience could complement the strength of the Zorathians. Together, they could achieve more than either species alone. As the sun began to set over Zorath, painting the sky with brilliant shades of orange and pink, Thera turned to Kai. "You have earned a place among my people, not as a warrior, but as a guide, an advisor, and a friend. Your size does not define you. Your mind and heart do." Kai smiled, feeling a sense of pride and purpose. "Thank you, General. I hope to continue learning and to help your people in any way I can." Thera nodded. "Tomorrow, we will meet other leaders of my world. You will see that humans are not only respected for their strength or courage, but for their ability to think, adapt, and inspire. This is how humans can change the universe." Kai looked out through the tent's shimmering walls at the red sands and glowing skies of Zorath. He felt a connection to this alien world and to the towering general who had once mocked his size. Now, that mockery had turned into respect, partnership, and understanding. As night fell, Kai lay on his mat, reflecting on the day. He had faced fear, solved challenges, guided others, and earned respect. He understood that being small was not a limitation. It was an opportunity to demonstrate qualities that could inspire even the largest beings. Kai realized that his journey on Zorath was far from over. New challenges awaited, but he was ready. He had proven that humans could rise above any obstacle, not through strength alone, but through courage, intelligence, and heart. And with that, thought Kai drifted into a deep, peaceful sleep, knowing that tomorrow would bring new lessons, new opportunities, and a chance to continue building a bridge between humans and the people of Zoreth. Kai woke to the soft glow of Zoroth's morning, feeling anticipation in his chest. Today was different. Today he would meet not only General Thera, but other leaders and warriors of her world. The past days had shown him that courage, intelligence, and patience were as important as strength. And now he would see how far humans could be respected beyond size and power. He stepped out of the tent, the red sands beneath his boots warm and firm. Thara was waiting, tall and imposing as ever, yet her expression held pride and calm authority. "Kai," she said, her voice resonating across the clearing. "Today you will witness how humans can inspire an entire people. You have earned their attention. You have earned my trust. Today, we share knowledge, strategy, and hope." Kai followed her across the clearing to a large amphitheater carved into the rock. It was enormous, with tiers rising high above the ground, and Zorathian leaders and warriors filled the space. Their glowing eyes turned toward him, curiosity, caution, and interest evident in every gaze. Kai felt a flicker of nervousness, but steadied himself. He remembered Thara's lessons. Courage is not the absence of fear. But moving forward despite it, Thara stepped forward and addressed the crowd. "Warriors, leaders of Zorath, today we welcome a human Kai. He has demonstrated qualities rare even among our strongest. He has shown courage, intelligence, and adaptability. Today, he will share knowledge, insight, and strategies that may strengthen us all." A murmur passed through the crowd. Some leaders nodded, intrigued. Others remained skeptical, their massive forms silent and still. Kai took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Thank you, General," he said, his voice steady. "I am honored to be here. I come from a small planet called Earth. Humans are not large or strong compared to many beings in the universe. But we have learned that size does not determine value. Courage, intelligence, curiosity, and cooperation allow humans to achieve what seems impossible." He paused, letting the words sink in. "In the past days, I have seen your strength and discipline. I have learned from it. Today, I hope to share how humans approach challenges, how we work together, and how even small efforts can have great impact." Kai began demonstrating simple exercises of coordination and strategy. He showed how humans communicate through clear instructions, observe patterns carefully, and adapt to unexpected changes. He explained how small groups can solve problems quickly when each member uses intelligence and observation rather than force. The Zorathians watched closely, moving their heads and shifting their stances. Slowly, they began to participate, following Kai's methods. His explanations were clear, his gestures precise, and his patience unwavering. He guided them through simulations of teamwork, demonstrating the value of flexibility, observation, and understanding. By midday, the amphitheater was alive with activity. Zorathian warriors moved with a new sense of coordination, executing strategies they had never attempted before. Leaders nodded in approval, recognizing the wisdom in Kai's methods. Even those who had doubted him could no longer deny his insight. Thera observed silently, pride shining in her glowing eyes. "You have done what I hoped, Kai," she said softly. "You have not only impressed me, but inspired my people. You have proven that humans, though small, can stand among the greatest of us." Kai smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "Thank you, General. I have learned as much from your people as they have from me. Humans grow through challenge, and I believe we can grow together." Thera turned to the crowd, raising her massive hands. "Let it be known," she announced, "that humans are not to be underestimated. Kai has shown us that courage, intelligence, and heart are as powerful as size and strength. Let this be the start of a new understanding, a new alliance." The amphitheater erupted in approval. The Zorathians who had doubted Kai now looked at him with respect and admiration. Some stepped forward, offering gestures of friendship and recognition. Kai accepted them, smiling. Understanding that this was more than honor it, was a bridge between worlds as the day continued. Thera introduced Kai to other leaders, each eager to hear his perspective. He shared ideas about strategy, communication, and teamwork. He explained how humans solve complex problems, not by brute force, but through creativity, observation, and collaboration. The leaders listened carefully, asking questions and testing his ideas. Kai answered with honesty and clarity, earning further respect by evening. The sun painted Zorath's sky in brilliant oranges and purples. Kai stood with Thera on a high platform overlooking the amphitheater. The people below were engaged in discussions, learning, and exchanging ideas. The once skeptical crowd now embraced the human presence, recognizing that even small beings could make a large impact. Thera looked down at Kai. "You have done more than I imagined. Your courage and wisdom have opened doors that were closed to outsiders. You have created trust, respect, and understanding." Kai looked back at her, gratitude shining in his eyes. "Thank you, General. I never imagined I could have such influence here. I only wanted to share what humans have learned and to understand your people as well." Thor's massive hand rested lightly on his shoulder. "You have achieved both. You have proven that size is not the measure of value. Heart, mind, and courage are far more important." Kai felt a deep sense of fulfillment. For the first time, he understood that humans, though small, could stand proudly among the greatest warriors and leaders of the universe. He realized that courage, intelligence, and perseverance were the true strengths of his species. As night fell, Kai sat with Thera outside the tent, looking at Zorath's twin moons reflected on the red sand. "Tomorrow," Thera said, "we will begin missions that will benefit both our peoples. Humans will guide us in ways we never expected, and Zorathians will teach humans what strength truly means." Kai nodded, excitement and anticipation filling him. "I look forward to it. Together, we can achieve more than either species alone." The moons rose higher, bathing the land in silver light. Kai felt hope, pride, and purpose. He had faced fear, challenges, and skepticism, and emerged stronger in mind, heart, and spirit. He had forged bonds of respect and understanding with a people far larger and stronger than himself. Kai understood that his journey on Zorath was only beginning. The human spirit, curious, courageous, and adaptable, had earned a place among the stars, through respect, intelligence, and cooperation. Humans could make a difference in worlds far beyond their own. Thera's voice broke the quiet. "Rest now, Kai. Tomorrow begins a new chapter. You have earned your place among us. You have shown that even the smallest beings can create the greatest change." Kai lay on his mat, gazing at the alien sky. He thought about the challenges, the lessons, and the friendships he had formed. He realized that humans had something unique, the ability to rise above limitations, to inspire respect, and to forge connections that strength alone could never achieve. And with that, Kai drifted into a deep, peaceful sleep, ready to face the adventures that awaited him. Knowing that humans could stand tall among the giants of the universe, not through size, but through courage, intelligence, and heart, Kai had proven that humans, though small, could be mighty in ways the universe had never expected. And in doing so, he had created the first step toward a new alliance. One that would unite strength with wisdom, power with heart, and different worlds in a shared understanding of what it truly meant to be remarkable.